just wanted to share with you a few ideas that I think can help you right now today to set yourself up to reimagine the future. Don't think we necessarily want to go back to normal. I really want us to reimagine the future. And there's a few tactics that I think can really set us up for doing that at a very, very high level. I will share with you just a few ideas about this whole idea of taking a step back in order to take a step forwards. Now, exactly a year ago, almost right now, I think many of you probably remember this moment. This is the Kawhi Leonard buzzer beater in Game 7 against Philadelphia to win one of the series in the playoffs for the Toronto Raptors on their way to a world championship. I'm a sports physiologist, so I love breaking down sports performances and truly elite performances. So this has been fun to sort of think about now that we're a year out of this moment. Now, what a lot of people don't remember or don't consider when looking at this incredible shot and remembering this incredible shot that sort of bounced around the rim before it went into the basket for them to win with, 0.2 seconds on the clock, is that only 1 year before that, Kawhi Leonard had been with the San Antonio Spurs. And when he was with the San Antonio Spurs, it was not going well. Like, he was injured, he was fighting with the medical staff, he was disagreeing with management, and his career was, despite the fact that he was in previous MVP in the playoffs, he'd actually been, ended up being traded to the Toronto Raptors because this relationship had deteriorated so much. Interestingly, once he was traded, Masai Ujiri, the GM for the Toronto Raptors, made one phone call almost right away. And that one phone call was to Alex McKechnie, the director of sports science. That makes me happy because I'm a sports scientist. So all of a sudden we're thinking that we're more important, but it was an important phone call because what Alex was charged with was rehabilitating Kawhi. And he took Kawhi right back to basics. They brought him into Canada, did his medical, cleared the medical, but then what they did was they went back and taught him basics of agility, got his strength back up. They fixed all of his imbalances. They took months to set him up for the season. Then when the season started, they'd implemented something that's now become quite popular, and that is load management, where he wasn't allowed to play any back-to-back games. They limited his minutes so that by the time he got to the playoffs, he was able to unleash all of his potential and ultimately hit this very famous shot that ultimately put Toronto in a position to win a world championship. Super cool. Of course, being from Toronto, this makes me very, very happy. If you're watching this and you happen to be from Philadelphia, so sorry, maybe next time. Anyway, whole message that we're taking away from this is basically that I want you to consider the benefits of slowing down in order to be able to speed up. This is what I've done for decades with the athletes that I've worked with, taking them back, reconstructing their foundations so that they can build up to higher levels of performance. And I think this applies to all of us. Recently, there's been an explosion of interest in the science of neurophysiology. And the new neurophysiology that we're beginning to understand has everything to do with brainwave patterns. And the way that this works is that we have these different electrical activity patterns that happen inside the brain. As a physiologist, I love this stuff, so just bear with me and I'll get back to the sports stories and the applications in a second. But I think it's really important to understand that, for example, when we are in sleep, there are very slow cycles of electrical activity that move through the brain. The brain is really, really calm and really, really settled. You can measure this by putting electrodes all over your head. And even the Choose Muse headband, for example, does the same technology to measure what happens during meditation. If you go slightly faster in terms of brain waves, you enter into a creativity state. This is sort of ideation, daydreaming. Then you enter into alpha. If you speed up a little bit further, this is sort of strategic thinking, reflecting, learning. Go a little bit faster and you end up in what's called beta states, focused execution mode, clearly what I am in right now. And then there's supra performance, ultra performance, and that is called gamma states. This is when you're in flow, peak experience. And my hypothesis for you today is that we're stuck in beta so much of the time. Just hustle, 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 go, go, go. This was certainly the case leading into this COVID-19 pandemic that we're in, where depression was skyrocketing, 25% of our population accessing the medical system because of a mental health related challenge. Again, 25% of our population diagnosed sleeping disorder, 85% of our population not having enough physical activity in their lives to prevent a chronic disease, burnout rates increasing, I believe, because we were stuck in beta all the time. It was the hustle mentality, not taking the time to go and do the strategic thinking or learning, not taking the time to be creative, not taking the time to be truly like really experiencing life at the highest level. If we use the Kawhi Leonard analogy to understand this better, basically when he was with San Antonio, he was in that hustle, 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 go, 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 push. We don't care if you're injured, just play the game. When he came to Toronto, they pulled him back. He slowed everything down. They rebuilt. They thought strategically about what he needed to do so that ultimately they could unleash his potential in the playoffs and ultimately win a world championships. So the message of slow down to speed up is what I have for you today, against the context of a very strong scientific rationale for doing the next 5 things I'm going to recommend for you, each of which are aligned with those 5 brain states.